Colin Kapernick under fire from fans and fellow players after his refusal to stand up for the national anthem, doubling down overnight.
I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. When there's significant change and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, I'll stand.
Kaepernick gonna run it. The 49ers dual threat quarterback with the rocket arm and lightning.
Field. Some say not standing up during the national anthem is the ultimate disrespect.
How many times have we called upon our military to protect us or give us our freedoms? And our flag and anthem always have to be respected, period.
Others, however, say that's the point.
Let's move on, because it takes attention away from the proud men and women in that community who serve where the attention should be.
And agree Colin Kaepernick has the right to freedom of speech.
But it's his right as an American. So if we
Well, I think it's a misunderstanding. You know, the media painted this as anti-American, anti-men and women of the military, and that's not the case at all. You know, I realize that men and women of the military go out and sacrifice their lives and put themselves in harm's way for my freedom of speech and my freedoms in this country and my freedom.
Racial profiling against the black community in the United States. The survey conducted by The Guardian shows that U.S. police officers killed 1,134 people in 2015. Findings also show that young black men were 9 times more likely than other Americans to be killed by police officers. Black males between the ages of 15 and 34 make up just 2% of the total U.S. population. Police killings, especially of African Americans, have sparked mass protests throughout the U.S. over the past 2 years.
Again, most recently in Cleveland, Ohio, the courts will not hold police officers accountable if they kill African Americans wrongfully. Police officers have essentially been given a license to kill. And if they take the life of an African American, the courts will simply allow them to be on the streets the next day. And because there's not an accountability and because there's no consequence for this action, we see it being repeated over.
All right, I'm going to hit the recorder. This guy's still walking and following commands.
Not for taser, I think.
I've got a feeling that's about to happen.
That looks like a bad dude, too. To be on something.
Which way are they facing?
Police 1, they're facing westbound. I think he may have just been tasered.
Shots fired!
Ooh.
321, we have shots fired.
Society. African Americans are demonized. Young African American men in particular are portrayed as dangerous and criminal. The issue isn't that there's a lack of record of what's taking place. The issue isn't that there's a lack of publicity, but yet it continues to happen. And it seems that on some level, the structure of U.S. society has denied the humanity of African Americans and basically said that an African American life doesn't have the same value as the life of a white person or the life of a police officer or the life of anyone.
To get eastbound 36th Street North, actually just going to be 36th Street North shut down. That's Lewis, and then probably back off about 3 or 4 blocks to the west of there.
Is what we're up for. So I tell you, that is the coolest part about being in a band, is playing live. It's not the 22 other hours, you know, getting around. It's that 2 hours that's on stage, and that is golden to me.
Moments later, Officer Tyler Turnbow tases Crutcher. He's then shot by Officer Betty Shelby.
Shots fired!
Both now on paid leave. Lying on the ground, the videos show no one checks on Crutcher for more than a minute. He later died at the hospital. The police chief confirming he was not armed.
There was no gun on the suspect or in the suspect's vehicle.
Amid protests over the incident, law enforcement making assurances justice will be served.
They must have shot dude in the fucking face. Your son gone. This is gone. Everything blood gone. I want to hold your son head up.
Get out of here with that. Get out of here with that. You about to cause another scene.
He did not shoot himself. He ran from them and they shot him. Normandy did not shoot him. Ferguson shot him.
Ferguson did?
Ferguson shot him. They wouldn't get that. It was not Normandy. It was Ferguson. They shot him in the face.
I apologize for cussing, but that's the...
The organized nonviolent resistance is the most powerful weapon that oppressed people can use in breaking loose from the bondage of oppression. Now, the other method that one might use is that of resignation or acquiescence. But I think that is just as bad as violence, because non-cooperation with evil is as much a moral obligation as is cooperation with good.
First of all, Kaepernick, he's using his platform to speak up. Because if he doesn't, who will? Who's going to speak up for the oppressed? He didn't say he was, so that's what I call speaking up. You know what I mean? But anyway, we just had another killing, and that's what Kaepernick's talking about. So the officers killed him, being unarmed. Helicopter says he looked bad, and he looks like he on something. How do you know from way up top? This is what I'm talking about. America has deemed black people as just being a threat and dangerous. We don't have to have no gun on us or anything. We could just be out pulled over, now we dangerous. Like, this is crazy. So this is what Kaepernick is talking about. So for all those white people that keep talking about a flag, you also have black Americans fighting that war. And we got back home, and this is still how we get treated. So it's just not right. We got to do better. And then they say, well, blacks kill blacks. Well, whites kill whites. Asians kill Asians. Everybody kill each other. Then if you want to be technical, America has killed more Americans than ISIS killed Americans. And come on. Think about that. Think about that. Americans have killed way more Americans than ISIS has, but y'all don't bring that up. So don't talk about blacks kill blacks anymore. What matters is the people that's supposed to protect blacks, whites, Mexican, I don't care what race you are. The police are supposed to protect everybody and serve justice for those who wrong. And they're not supposed to have a pass just to kill innocent black people. And those are my thoughts. So Kaepernick is not disrespecting anything. He's using his freedom. We have the freedom of speech. So the same people that's going to go fight to benefit from those freedoms to use, he's using them. That wouldn't make sense. Why fight for the freedom of speech and then don't use the freedom of speech? That means they fighting will be irrelevant. Come on. Come on now. Just my thoughts.